Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. It is Wednesday. I'm Peter Martin. Thank you very much for following our programme. In the studio tonight, Alan Ruff and Barry Ferguson are with me, ready to talk football, ready to discuss all the main headlines in Scottish football. Yes, the excitement over the World Cup for Scotland's women's team is there for all to see today at Hampden Park. All the media assembled. It was very, very busy indeed, but our reporter Gabriel Antoniazzi was there to cover the announcement.
Scotland manager Shelley Kerr announced her final Women's World Cup squad today, with the lives of 23 players changed forever. This squad will be the first Scotland team to play at a World Cup for 20 years, which incidentally was also in France in 1998. Kerr said yesterday was one of the hardest days of her career, as she phoned an extra 10 players who had not made the squad, as well as the successful 23. Centre-half Rachel Corsie will captain the side, with Arsenal midfielder and talisman Kim Little as her vice. There was space in the squad for Man City defender Jen Beattie, as well as Chelsea's player of the season Erin Cuthbert, plus 7 SWPL players from Glasgow City and Hibernian. Kerr's side are in a tough group with Argentina, Japan and of course England, their opening fixture, but her aim is clear: to get out of the group.
I've real confidence that the team can progress out the group stages, and we need to make sure that our planning's good, that the players are in the right form.
Firstly though, there is one friendly left to play here at Hampden against Jamaica at the end of May, where Kerr has called for fans to give her squad the best possible send-off.
Get 20,000 to Hampden, come and support the women's national team. We're going to the World Cup and that doesn't happen too often, so for me I would urge everyone to come along and support the players, and it would mean the world to myself and the players.
Going to the World Cup is the biggest achievements for these players, and for many it will be the pinnacle of their career, but it stretches further than that, as these 23 players will inspire thousands of girls and boys across our nation for years to come.
Well, I have to say, I hope 20,000 plus do indeed turn up for Scotland against Jamaica. But over and above that, Ruffy, when you think of the people that will be inspired by 23 girls who might not know it now, but they will be accorded legendary status for years to come.
Yeah, they certainly will, and let's hope everything goes well for them. They're very, very well prepared over the last 2 or 3 years. They've actually improved way beyond, and I think the reasons for that is a lot of them are now playing abroad. A lot of them are now playing down in England, getting competitive games down there. And the experience that they've got now to go to this World Cup is fantastic. But you're right, the women's football has kicked off dramatically in all the senior teams and the senior leagues, and I suppose filtering down to kids playing at their level as well. To just watch your country playing in the World Cup is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you see the squad, I'm delighted that our very own Leanne Crichton is in there, as we knew she would be, Barry.
Yeah, she'll be delighted. Probably a bit frustrated she's not played as much as she would have liked over the last year or two. But listen, what an achievement getting into the 23-man squad, and she'll be desperate to go over there and try and get into the starting 11, because at the end of the day, it's a World Cup, and what an achievement for the girls to go there.
Yeah, it's amazing how we all fall into that trap, isn't it? The 23-man squad when it's a 23-woman squad, Ruffy.
Sorry.
And of course, getting there, I was listening to Shelley Kerr saying that, Ruffy, she feels confident they can get out of that group. Now, we don't know the strength of Japan, and certainly you can't equate, Argentina's men to Argentina's women, so we don't know the strength of them, but we certainly know the strength of England.
Yeah, we certainly do, and I think they'll be sensible enough to know that the two games out with the England game are the important ones. I don't think for a minute that we would expect to go and beat this England team. They're absolutely fantastic, but you've got a chance in the other games, and that's when you've got to pick up the points, and I think that's what they'll be focused on.
Now you can see the value of playing Brazil in that friendly, just to get used to maybe what's happening in South America with the women's game.
Yeah, listen, you want to play against the top teams, and you learn a lot when you play against the top teams, and that bodes well for going into the World Cup, because as I said, it's the best teams that go to the World Cup.
Yeah, our best wishes to not only Shelley Kerr as the manager, but of course all the 23 girls who are heading there to France, and it will be a never to be forgotten experience for each and every one of them. Delighted for Leanne that she's managed to get there, and on merit as well with some of her fantastic performances for Glasgow City. Not forgetting, of course, playing Champions League football as well. Here's hope she has a fantastic World Cup in France. She'll be with us on Friday here in the studio alongside Barry and Ruffy as well. So with that done and dusted as far as the announcement of the Scotland World Cup squad, now to domestic matters, and John Flanagan, he's been picked up with that 2-game ban, and here is a statement coming out from Rangers which clearly is not happy. Once again, there seems intent to change the decision of a referee in a match involving Rangers. There seems to be a steady erosion of respect for Scotland's referees and the authority they are meant to enjoy under Rule 5 of the laws of the game. The decisions of referees regarding facts connected with play are meant to be final, but referees are now routinely invited to change their decision after a game is finished. It is particularly shocking that another Rangers player has been singled out for retrospective action and issued with a notice of complaint, while Jozo Simonovic, the Celtic player who used an elbow to fell Jermaine Defoe, has escaped any kind of censure. It seems as if Rangers players are being held to a different code of conduct from players at other clubs. We shall vigorously defend Mr Flanagan, and have also asked for full transparency on what matters are brought forward for retrospective action. Are those decisions being made even-handedly? Now, let's cut to the chase here, Ruffy. I think Rangers will find themselves in trouble once again with the SFA, because that statement, there are 2 or 3 paragraphs in there which are just scandalous. It's just a nonsense and unbecoming of a club like Rangers.
Yeah, and unfortunately whoever's putting out these statements is trying to just appease the fans to make them think that they are, on the end of unjust decisions. And I think we would all agree that if you look at the 2 incidents at the weekend, in my opinion, Simonovic was running with Defoe for the ball, arms were out, and he did catch him, but I don't think it was an intention elbow in the face, whereas the other one with Flanagan, as we all saw on the television, it's just a standing still, deliberate elbow into Scott Brown's face. Now, I don't know how you can defend even the action. They might say, there wasn't an awful lot of contact there, but if Ryan Kent's going to get banned for the one at Parkhead, that's certainly worse than the Ryan Kent one.
To be perfectly honest with you, Barry, to suggest that the Rule 5 allows the referees, to referee the game and then to question why their decisions are not standing up alone. Rangers know the process. The process is quite simply, if a mistake is deemed to have been made with regards to an incident, they know the process. The process is 3 people on a panel look at it and then determine whether it should be brought forward for a notice of complaint. Now, to suggest that there's something not even-handed about that, again, I think it's scurrilous. I just don't know where it's going.
No, I don't know who writes the statement. Listen, I can't defend what John Flanagan done. It was clear. It was a clear elbow, like Ruffy said. Whether he did catch him flush, we don't know, but there was intent for an elbow. And that was the only disappointing part of that game for me. What I said on Monday, it took over for what was a great performance for Rangers on the day with John Flanagan just with a bit of stupidity. But for me, it was a red card. I don't think Rangers can argue about it.
And just briefly on the Simonovic, the panel couldn't make a unanimous decision on that one. Mm-hmm. So that's why it didn't finally get the same treatment as John Flanagan.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks every instance is the same. They're not. You have to judge them, the way they happen. And as I've already said there, I just thought Simonovic was running with the Defoe, with the ball. Both of them are trying to hold each other off. It wasn't a standing still incident. It wasn't a deliberate elbow in the face.
Okay, you can give us your view on that. We've received lots of comments regarding it on social media. You can do it across YouTube, Facebook, and of course Twitter as well. Let's not forget, there's lots more to talk about. Of course, the playoffs continue. We'll discuss Dundee United in the box seat after their playoff first leg. But first and foremost, we always like to give you that quiz question again. Yes, lots to discuss in this next section of the programme. Ryan Christie was chatting today. Ruffy said there's been a fair bit of, I don't know if the word's hysteria or hyperbole about the Rangers' performance. It's been blown out of all proportion in his mind, says the Celtic midfielder.
No, if I'm a Rangers supporter, I don't think it's blown out of proportion. I think you enjoy every victory you get against your rivals. I thought the performance was superb, and after everything the Rangers have went through down the years, and also, you know, this year as well, and last year with Celtic winning the treble, and you know, not anything you come your way, you celebrate it as a fan, you get right behind the club, and Rangers have got every right to be buzzing last weekend. It's now Celtic's turn over the next couple of weeks to do likewise. Yeah,
I think the key issue here, and probably the main driving force for Ryan Christie on this, is quite simply that when you look at the record of winning silverware, I think that's the real gauge for me on when Rangers are making that real journey back. You know, from where you think, you know, 5 years ago, Barry, to suddenly now finishing second, playing good football, getting a consistency in results. The fans crave the silverware.
Yeah, they do that. That's the next piece in the jigsaw for Steven Gerrard, is to win a trophy. I think Rangers have proved big time this season. And I get where the Rangers fans are coming from on Sunday. I just think they were delighted with the performance. I thought it was top class. It's the best I've seen them play. And Ryan Christie's, I think, has just shown a bit of frustration there, because maybe he's injured and they couldn't help his teammates on Sunday. But listen, when you, as Ruffy pointed out, when you play against your rivals and you beat them, you've got every right to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Ruffy, James Forrest has declared himself fit for the Scottish Cup final, which I think is a bonus. And of course, when you're fit, you can pick up all sorts of awards. He'll be picking one up on Sunday, and that's the Scottish Football Writers International Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of candidates for this one. I possibly would have went for Alan McGregor. I thought Alan McGregor was absolutely tremendous in the qualifying rounds that we had. Highlighting the save he had in the last minute that got us actually into the Nations Cup playoff. I thought he was absolutely superb, standout for me. James Forrest has been very good. I think that the game that he played, he scored 2 fantastic goals, great ability in the box, but for me, Alan McGregor would have been the winner in that one.
Yep, okay. As far as the Scottish Cup final is concerned, Celtic have announced that they will, on the shorts, wear a number 5 and a number 9 in a tribute to Billy McNeil and Stevie Chalmers. A nice touch there. Interestingly enough, also, it looks as if Karamoko Dembele is about to make his debut for Celtic against Hearts at the weekend.
Yeah, well, there's been so much hype round about this young kid. Obviously playing with Scotland and England, and obviously signing a big contract with Celtic. And it'll be, I'm sure a lot of Celtic fans will be looking forward to seeing the young kid in a Celtic jersey. There'll be a lot of pressure on him because there's a lot expected. But seemingly, I've not seen enough of him. I've only seen him on YouTube and whatever, because I was nosy enough to go and have a look and see what everybody was talking about. But you can see the guy's got loads of quality and loads of ability, and I'm sure the Celtic fans will be desperate to see him. Yeah,
that's what happens with both halves of the old firm, though. I can remember there was a huge buzz around Billy Gilmore.
Yep.
And then, Ruffy, you know, I think we covered one of the Youth Cup finals. You know, the interest in him was incredible.
Yeah, it certainly was. But this is another stepping stone for this young lad, and we've all heard about how good he is and his technical ability. You know, I don't know if he'll start the game, but I think depending on how the game goes, he'll probably be introduced. But you always like to see young players like that getting a chance.
Yeah, you can only react to certain individuals who may well say something that might give you a steer. I'm talking, of course, about Derek McInnes being linked with the Scotland job. Dundee Vice Chairman Dave Cormack says doesn't see that happening.
Well, I'll disagree with him. I think if Derek does get offered the Scotland job, I think he's got to seriously consider it. He's got another season of transfer dealings, dealing in the free transfer market, and he's done that ever since he's went up to Aberdeen, and he's done fantastic for me. Derek's done a great job up there, and I think he's a great contender to take over at Scotland.
Yeah, strangely enough, you're looking at it, Kilmarnock are saying now that they really fear that the SFA are coming, and they said they were coming within the next 7 to 10 days, and that was last week, Ruffy. So I think after Sunday's games, somebody's getting the call on the Monday morning.
Yeah, and I would like to think that both sets of owners at Aberdeen and Kilmarnock are actively talking to their managers before that happens, because we know Stuart Millen really likes Derek McInnes a lot, and I'm sure both of them will be getting a package thrown in front of them from Aberdeen and Kilmarnock, anticipating this bid coming in to sort of make them have double thoughts about what they're going to do.
Yeah, OK. Ruffy, you're better placed. I'm not suggesting for a minute that you don't have a knowledge of the Championship, but because obviously the Partick Thistle director who's been watching games in that division, you must have looked on with great interest at the playoff. Dundee United have the edge by a 1-0. Is it a deciding factor for you, Ruffy?
No, I don't think it is. I think Inverness have proved they can go down to Dundee United and get a win, as they did the last time they were down there. I think the sending off was a big blow for them, particularly the player who got sent off, who obviously is going to Motherwell at the beginning of the season. So no, I think both teams are evenly matched, but again, they've got the advantage, the home advantage. But I still think Inverness have got something to say in there, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Oh,
because I was waiting.
Yeah, there you go, Barry. And Barry, for the full season, we could count up easily. I would reckon we could make 5 shows out of the 60 seconds he wastes.
I think even more than that.
Oh, unbelievable, isn't it? Incredible. A nice little pat, and then bang, they're not making it, because it's going to be Dundee United to face St Mirren or Hamilton. Now, strangely enough, I still think the Premiership club could have the edge in it. I don't know, maybe,
well, I watched the game last night against Inverness and Dundee United. I thought it was pretty even. I thought the only difference in that game was Paul McMillan. I thought he was a different class. Yeah. If he's in that sort of form on Friday, and I know Robbo's going to be missing a few players, Polworth that gets sent off as one of their top players, it's going to be a difficult one, but they went down there earlier on this season and won in the Cup, so it's one of the ones that you've got to fancy Dundee United to get through.
Yeah.
You've got to.
Barry, it's hard to believe it, but it's 11 years, obviously, over the 2 days. 11 years ago, Tommy Burns sadly passed away. But when I look back at that 11 years, I can remember exactly where I was. It was the night after you played in the UEFA Cup final against Zenit St Petersburg. It was just one of those, it was kind of a double whammy, the sadness of Rangers losing in a major final, and then wham, the next morning getting up in Manchester. And I just can remember that really gut sick feeling.
Yeah, I mean, time flies, but as you mentioned, the UEFA Cup final, getting there, then the disappointing losing it, and obviously Tommy Burns, his death kind of hit a lot of people. I worked with Tommy at Scotland, and I've got to be honest with you, a top class guy, great coach, loved the banter, having a laugh and a joke about the Celtic Rangers thing. It was great. And it was a sad couple of days, obviously. We losing the cup final, and obviously knowing Tommy Burns, we worked with him at Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, Ruffy, you know, having known him so well, he could kill you with a one-liner, couldn't he? He was absolutely magnificent at it.
Yeah, but we spoke about in this show, I think it was last week, about the rivalry between Rangers and Celtic and the players. Do they talk, do they not talk? Way back then, you know, there was a fair quantity of Rangers and Celtic players in that Scotland squad. So the banter must have been fantastic when they all went away with Scotland. It must have been fantastic.
I tell you, when Walter's in charge by Coist and Tommy Burns, and obviously Rangers and Celtic players there, it was unbelievable. It was taking the mickey out of each other, but it was all, you know, I mean, it was a good laugh. It was good, and it just shows you that Rangers and Celtic players do go on off the pitch, but No, on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely, and they do to this day as well. Although my abiding memory, just when you're talking about Tam with Walter and Ali McCoy's, was quite simply Ruffy when they were offered the Rangers job, which they couldn't turn down, and Tam phones Walter up and says, "Hey, we're a package. There's three of us. When am I going? When do I get to Ibrox? Have you announced it yet?" Can you imagine their faces? The three of them on their way there, Tam. You would have get slaughtered in the area.
Good coach.
Yeah.
Good coach. I loved my time under him.
Good memories. Good news for John McGinn. Ruffy, I watched it last night. It was turgid football, I have to be honest with you. But it was one of those ones I thought, I'll give it a watch. Aston Villa going to Wembley.
Yeah, I watched it as well. And for me, John McGinn was the wee spark that Aston Villa had. He's picking the ball up in midfield. He seems to have that low gravity.
Not Jack Grealish?
To get by. No, I just was watching McGinn because obviously he's Scottish and he's somebody that we're relying on. And felt happy for him because he's Scottish.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I don't mind a bit of bias there.
I tell you what, it looks like a steal at £3 million.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a steal.
Absolutely. I mean, I wonder who wouldn't pay £3 million for him? Okay, that's another programme. On that note, thanks to Ruffy and thanks to Barry Ferguson and thanks to you for joining us on the programme. Monday to Friday, we are indeed on and waiting for you to give us some messages, and we will obviously put it to the panel as well. But from tonight, thank you very much for joining us. Good night.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.